Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good afternoon. We are getting started in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. One more minute. Yes, I am nice and relaxed. Thank you. Yes. Good afternoon. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. We're starting in 1 minute. Good afternoon. Hello. All right, it's 11:02. I give everybody always 2 minutes to get in because I know everybody's trickling in. But as we wait for everybody, how are we doing today? Are you guys ready for day 3? This is day 3 of how to build a multiple six-figure portfolio in the stock market. I have said so many different titles for this workshop. I just know you're here to learn how to build a multiple six-figure portfolio in the stock market. Now, what is the actual title? Ask my marketing team. No, I'm just kidding. All right, guys. So what were some of the biggest takeaways so far? Talk to me in the chat. What are some of your biggest takeaways so far from day 1 and day 2? I want to hear from you. What were some of your biggest takeaways? And as you guys type in the chat here, I'll tell you what some of my biggest takeaways are. You know, in day 1, we introduced who I am, right? My name is Katiana Carre. Those of you, this is your first day attending, even though this is day 3, it's okay. I'm originally from Haiti, and I teach women like yourself and men, not just women, okay? But I focus on teaching women how to understand their relationship with money to become confident investors, right? So one of the things that I noticed in some of the people that I would work with is there's so much information out there. They don't know where to start. You know, there's so many different strategies. They don't know which one to do. They're not sure if the stocks that they have are the right stocks. They don't know how many shares to get. They don't know when to buy, when to sell, right? But they're neglecting the mindset. They're neglecting understanding their goal. They're neglecting understanding their behaviors with money. And so in day 1, we talked a lot about your money mindset, understanding your money patterns. Where did they come from, right? Usually they came from your childhood. Think about it. The first 7 years of your life, that's when you learn the most. You learn how to speak, you learn how to read, you learn how to walk, you learn how to write, you learn how to do addition, you know how you learn how to subtract, you learn how multiplication. Don't you think you also learn about money? Talk to me in the chat, guys. Talk to me in the chat. What do you think? Type in a 1 if you think that, okay, along with learning how to talk, how to walk, how to add, how to multiply and all that, I'm also learning about money. Even if your parents didn't verbally say, hey, I'm sitting you down to teach you about money, you were still learning about money. How were you learning about money? By observing your parents' behaviors around money. Were your parents fearful around money? Somebody just said, let go of fear. Were they fearful? Were they making decisions based on fear, based on lack, based on poverty? You know, turn off the lights because we don't want the light bill to be too high. Do you have McDonald's money? right? Or hey mom, or everybody else has an allowance and you don't because mom can't afford it, or maybe mom or dad was always at work, or maybe they had a great relationship with money. It's not always bad, guys. One of my students in our group coaching program, we were talking about our relationship with money and what we observed as a child, and she was like, you know what, I feel bad because my parents were great with money. I felt safe with money, and I didn't have any issues with money growing up. Okay, well, that's not something to be ashamed of, right? Just because we are focusing on your money patterns does not mean it needs to be negative. Some of you guys have inherited some good things from your parents, right? Knowing how to save, knowing how to be structured with your money, how to be disciplined, right? Some of you actually inherited some of these, all right? And so it's not always bad. You want to understand where your money behaviors came from. And you want to understand, is this the type of money behavior that I want to continue? Because some of them you actually want to continue. I mean, if you're disciplined, if you don't overspend, if you always have available cash flow, you always have money to do what you need, there's really no need to change that. But understanding that about yourself will determine what type of strategy you implement in your portfolio. Type in a 2 if that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. Understanding your money behaviors, understanding your money patterns will help you decide what is the right strategy for you to reach your financial goals. Because the same strategy that's going to work for someone who is highly disciplined, someone who is consistent, someone who makes sure that they always have cash flow is not going to be the same strategy that works for someone who is afraid of having too much money. Type in a 2 if you understand that. Okay. All right. The same strategy, I'm going to repeat it. The same strategy that works for someone who is disciplined, who is consistent, who wants to see money consistently in their portfolio versus someone who was traumatized in their childhood and doesn't feel safe having money, that strategy will not work for them. And that's why in personal finance, there is no such thing as a one size fits all, right? Which brings us to today's topic. Today's topic is how to build a financial plan that's right for you. If I'm going on vacation right now, I'm in Medellin, Colombia, right? If I tell you, hey guys, I'm going to Medellin, Colombia, and I'd like for you to join me. Well, if I just tell you Medellin, Colombia, are you gonna come here where I am right now? Talk to me in the chat. If I just tell you, hey, we're going to Medellin, Colombia, that's it, and figure out how to get there. Are you gonna get to this place, this rooftop that I am right now? Are you gonna get to here? Absolutely not. You're not going to come here because you don't have an address, right? You don't have dates. You don't know, are you coming in December? Are you coming in the middle of summer? What type of clothes should I wear? Should I bring my sweater? Should I wear my boots? Or should I wear my flip-flops and my bathing suit, right? You need details. So that's one of the things that we're going to talk about today. Yesterday, we talked more about what is the stock market, right? And we actually went a little bit deeper, believe it or not. It's kind of hard to talk about the stock market, about investing without really going deep into mindset. We went a little bit deeper into the mindset. What are some things that you think you need? And what do you actually need in order to be successful in the stock market? Then we defined the stock market. We talked about why companies go into the market, right? And why you, the investor, are even in the market in the first place, and what type of questions do you want to ask? What type of companies do you want to invest in? Do you want to invest into the companies that all the big banks are investing in, the JP Morgans, the Chases, the Wells Fargos, the Vanguards? Do you want to invest in those companies that they're investing in? Or do you want to invest in all the companies that your friends at work are telling you that this is the next hottest thing and you better go buy it or else you're going to miss out because it's going to go to the moon? Right? I'd rather follow the big money. There's a reason why they're dumping billions and trillions of dollars in this particular company. They must know something that I don't. So that's one thing. You want to follow the big banks, and not only follow the big banks, you want to understand why the big banks are buying this, because that's going to help you with your peace of mind. Think about it. If you're just buying something because you're following someone and they're like, well, this is the best stock out there. And you're like, okay, well, I don't know why I'm buying this, but apparently they said this is the best stock out there. So let me just buy it, right? But what happens when things are not going the way you plan? What happens when there's a market crash? What happens when the stock has not moved for 6-8 months? You're going to start questioning your decision. You're going to start panicking like, oh my God, did I make the right decision? I know this person said to buy this, but I don't see it moving. I don't see it doing anything. So should I stop buying? Should I this? We cut all of that out by teaching you exactly why the banks are buying XYZ. Type in a 3 if that made sense. All right. So now that leads us, let's see, anybody answered what were some of the biggest takeaways? Milagro says they had weekly budget meeting followed by fear. Oh, you're talking about your parents. Okay, so that was one of your biggest takeaways, understanding how your parents manage money, right? So let's go back to that little tidbit, right? Understand, those of you who didn't attend day 1 or day 2, I invite you to write down some of the memories you had around money. It doesn't necessarily have to be exactly about money, but it could be related to money. So something like turning off the lights, that's not a money exchange per se, but it does deal with, you don't want the bill to be high, right? And so write down some of these memories. And then also, while you're writing down these memories, observe, do you see any of these in your present day right now? Are these memories a direct reflection of how you deal with money today? Or is it the total opposite? That's another thing, right? Yes, you may do exactly what your parents did, or you may decide that I'm going to be nothing like my mom, or I'm going to be nothing like my dad, right? I'm guilty of this. My mom is an accountant. Okay, talk about discipline with money. She was the one balancing checkbooks, right? She was the one who would have the shoebox full of receipts, right? You had to give her receipts for everything, and she was writing. I decided when I was witnessing this as a kid, I want to be nothing like that. I don't want to have receipts all over the place. I don't want to have to track anything. So guess what? Guess what that looked like in my money? Swipe, swipe, swipe. Swipe, swipe, swipe. Oh, I'm not looking at my bank account. I'm afraid to look at my bank account because it might just be negative and that's going to ruin my mood. So I'm just going to swipe, swipe, swipe. Hopefully it goes through. Swipe, swipe, swipe. Hopefully it goes through. That was me because I decided that I wanted to be the total opposite of my mother. Some of you guys, some of the behaviors that you observe, you subconsciously made a decision that, oh no, we're not doing that. I don't like this at all. So I'm going to do the complete opposite. And that's why your money behaviors are the way they are today. So it's either you mirror your parents exactly, or you do the total opposite. All right. And so these are not here. You're not here to bash your parents and blame your parents, because quite frankly, they got it from their parents and their parents got it from their parents. So this is something that has been passed down through generations. And so what you're doing, right, through my program or any other money coaching programs, there are amazing money coaches out there, right? Maybe we're not a good fit to work with each other, but I encourage you to please find a money coach that's going to help you understand your behaviors, okay? I just lost my train of thought there. This is why I have PowerPoints, because I'll go like on 500 different tangents and then put it all together and bring you a point. And you're like, Kat, I don't even know what we're talking about, but yes. Right. What I was saying is I challenge you to work on these, not to bash your parents. That's what I was saying. Not to bash your parents, but to understand them. And when you understand them, you invite forgiveness. Not only do you forgive your parents because they didn't know any better. I mean, I'm not here to say ignore. Forgiving does not mean ignore. You can have a conversation with your parents because some of these things may have been really, really traumatizing for you. And you need to have a conversation to release that energy in your heart. And so, yes, it is also to forgive your parents, but to also forgive yourself. Forgiving yourself. We say that love is blind, love is caring, love is patient. Love is this, love is that, like from the Bible verse. Right? Some of you guys know it by heart, right? But do we do any of that for ourselves? Are we kind to ourselves? Do we continuously forgive ourselves? Are we gracious with ourselves? Or do we beat ourselves up? Or do we beat ourselves up? Or do we continuously punish ourselves and say, oh man, I wish I had done that. Man, if I had done this, man, if I had done that, when I was your age, if I had done this, I would have been so far. That's not nurturing you. That's not being kind. That's not being patient. That's not forgiving yourself. It's, hey, I understand why I did what I did. I understand why I was so reckless with my spending because X, Y, and Z. And that because I understand this, I forgive myself for this. And going forward, I'm going to do better. I'm going to take the proper steps to do better. And while you're doing better, it's not, oh, I know better. Now I'm going to do better. And if I don't do better, I'm going to go back to punishing myself. No, 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 no. We're not going to do that. Because if I cut you, if I cut you right here, if I take a knife and I cut you, you can pour alcohol all over it. You can put a Band-Aid all over it, but it's going to take time to heal because your body has to do the healing itself. I don't care what type of products you put on it. Your body has to regrow the cells. You want to give your body time to heal itself. And so when you recognize these patterns from your past, from your parents, right? You forgive yourself, but it's not like, oh, okay, I know where this came from, so tomorrow it's fixed. That can happen, right? There are some amazing breakthroughs that I have seen with my clients, but there are some clients that take time. And you want to be patient with yourself. Remember, love is patient. If you're saying that you love yourself, you have to be patient with yourself. Type in a 4 if you're with me, okay? All right, I just talked for 15 minutes about a lot. So let's get right into it so that I'm not rushing through the presentation. Okay. Any questions, by the way, any questions from day one, any observations from day one, anything you want to bring up from day one while I get this PowerPoint ready for you guys? Any questions, comments, concerns? Any questions? Okay. Alrighty, so let's see here. Okay. All right. So day 3, this thing, Canva always like, by the way, I'm using Canva if you didn't notice. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, day 3. So today we're going to talk about building your investment plan. And tomorrow I actually have a bonus day. Now, the bonus day is only reserved for those who have applied to work with me, right? So what does that mean? That means those who made a decision that they're going to change their situation, that they're going to do what needs to be done in order to get their dreams, in order to build that 6-figure portfolio. And not only the 6-figure portfolio, remember when I talked about in day 1 and day 2, your 6-figure portfolio is a bonus. I'm going to repeat that. Your 6-figure portfolio is a bonus. Once you remove your money blockages, once you understand your money behaviors and where they came from, you have unlocked abundance from all areas of your life. Your health, right? Your body will be healthy. Your relationship with yourself will be healthier. Your relationship with your families, with your friends, your career will flourish. Your business will flourish. So it's not just about building a 6-figure portfolio, guys. It's about unlocking your ability to attract multiple 6 figures no matter what you're doing, whether it's building a multiple 6-figure portfolio or building a business from scratch or advancing in your careers. Type in a 5 if you're with me. I'm going to repeat that. Building the same skills that are going to allow you to build a multiple 6-figure portfolio are the same skills that are going to allow you to build a multiple 6-figure business, are the same skills that are going to allow you to build a multiple 6-figure career. Those same skills are going to allow you to be healthier with your body, with your family, with your spirit, right? All of that. But today we're going to focus on building an investment plan. Now, tomorrow we're going to go a lot deeper into your investment plan. We're going to have live coaching from people who are brave enough to raise their hands, okay? And so this is only open for those who have applied to work with me, those who have taken action, those who have taken that leap of faith, okay? If you decide to apply to work with me, you will be invited to tomorrow's bonus day. Last time I did it, I opened the bonus day to everybody, but I realized that not everybody is ready to really take action. And I want to work with people who are ready. There's nothing more fulfilling than working with someone who is ready, because guess what? When they're ready, everything that I show them as I lead them through their path, they are implementing and they are getting results. That warms my heart. You know, when you do something that you're passionate about, your heart gets all warm and you get goosebumps all over. That's how I feel when I see my clients implement the strategies that I present to them. And so that's why I absolutely love working with people who are ready, right? Some of you are not ready, because I was one of you. Okay. I used to not be ready. I used to see coaches all the time and say, that's too expensive. I don't have the money. Until one day I said, enough is enough. I'm going to figure out how to pay for this. Okay. I don't know where the money is going to come from. I'm going to pay for this. And that's exactly why I'm here traveling the world, teaching you how to do exactly what I was able to do, because I took that leap of faith. Okay. So those of you who are ready who want to go deeper into what we're going to talk about tomorrow, I invite you to apply to work with me, okay? And so I always forget the link. It's right here, actually. Program.katianacarre.com, okay? So let me type it in here. Program.katianacarre.com, okay? So go ahead and apply to work with me to be able to attend tomorrow's bonus day, where we're going to talk about a lot of different things. So let's get right into it. So what are you going to learn today, okay? The importance behind your freedom number, okay? Remember, in day one, we talked about visualizing. What is it that you want? And you want this to come from your heart, okay? You don't want to listen to just the mind, because the mind is going to talk you out of it. The mind's going to tell you, oh, you're not worthy. Your mind's going to tell you you're not ready. Your mind's going to tell you you're not qualified. Your mind's going to tell you you don't know enough. Your mind's going to tell you, what about this? Your mind's going to tell you, but what if this? That's what your mind's going to tell you. But your heart is going to say, but this is what I really want. This is what feeds my soul, right? And so once you figure out what it is that you want, okay, then you quantify what you want. Do you want to have a private chef to cook you meals once a week, twice a week, every day? Do you want to have a cleaning service? Do you want to have a nanny? Do you want to be able to travel the world whenever you want, just like I do? Right? Do you want to fire your boss, right? Do you want to have residual income where you have complete freedom to be able to go to all of your kids' dance recitals and football games and basketball games, right? What is it that you want, and how much is that going to cost you? Once you understand how much that's going to cost you, right? This is how you actually manifest, by taking action. The feminine is the unmanifested. It's the creation aspect, right? It's not physical yet. Putting it into the physical realm is the masculine aspect, right? Unmanifested is feminine, manifested is masculine. This is where you take action, right? You know your freedom number. I know I'm headed to Medellin, Colombia. I'm going to book the ticket. I'm going to book my hotel or Airbnb. That's taking action. That's what's going to turn your life around. That's what's going to allow you to build the dream that you want. Understanding exactly how much money you need to have the lifestyle that you deserve, okay? Then we're going to talk about how to use the compound interest calculator to see if your portfolio is on the right track, okay? Some of you guys have a 401k with your job. You have no idea how much money is going in, how much money is not going in. You have no idea what your 401k is invested in. Type in a 7 in the chat if you have a 401k, a 403b, a 457, an FSLR, a TSP, or anything, any type of retirement with your job. Type in a 7 in the chat. I want to see. Okay, Zeus does. 401k, 403b. 403b is usually my nurses, my doctors, my physicians, right? Usually sometimes my educators, but most people have about a 401k. Type in an 8 if you know exactly how much money is going into that 401k or 403b or whatever it is that you have every single month. If you know, don't tell me 5%. Don't tell me 2%. What is the dollar amount that's going in? What is the dollar amount that's going in? How much is my employer's matching me 2%? That doesn't tell me anything. I need to know the exact number. Why? Because I need to see, is this gonna get you to your goal? You also want to know, how fast is your portfolio growing? What is the average rate of return? If you guys don't know the answers to this, well, guess what? You can call your human resources department and say, hey, human resources department, I have a 401k, 403b. Can you please tell me what company manages my 401k or my 403b? Oh, okay, Vanguard. Oh, okay, Fidelity. Oh, okay, blah, blah, blah. All right. So now you hang up and then you call Vanguard or Fidelity or whoever manages your 401k and you say, hey, how much money, what is the dollar amount being contributed to my 401k or my 403b? Oh, it's like $600 a month. Okay, beautiful. Oh, it's $800 a month. Okay, beautiful. Now you ask them, what is the average rate of return? What is the average rate of return? The average, meaning that you're not getting this. It's not a fixed. It's not like you're getting 18% every year, but on average, as the market goes up and down, average, you should get a number. I've seen as low as 8%, and actually I've seen as low as 4%, actually, but I usually see the ballparks around 8 to 15-ish%. I have seen as high as 18%, but those are usually like really, really good ones, okay? So you want to be aware of these things, because how do you know that you're gonna get to Medellin, Colombia, if you don't even know where you are right now? How are you going to know what route to take if you don't know where you are right now? These things are important. You want to know, where am I in my financial journey? Where am I headed? Now that you know where you are and where you're headed, now the road, you know what route to take. You know what financial plan will get you there. Type in a 9 if that made sense. Type in a 9 if that made sense, okay? And then number 3, we're going to talk about the exact steps you need to make, you need to take in order to make sure your investments will get your goals. I already gave it up, actually. We already went over number 3, okay? So step number 1, I'm going to go over it again. Step number 1, call your human resources department. If you don't know who manages your 401k, if you know that, you can skip step number 1. Step number 2, call that company. Find out how much money is going in your account every month. You need the dollar amount. Percentage doesn't mean anything to me. That does not tell me how far away you are from your goal, okay? And then third, you want to know what is the average rate of return, okay? And then that's going to help you know what is the speed that you're going. Are you going to get there in time, okay? All right. So what are some mistakes? I want to hear from you guys. What are some mistakes that you think beginner investors make, right? When they decide to go on a journey to build a multiple 6-figure portfolio? I want to hear you guys. You guys know that I always love to involve you, right? Because this is a conversation. If you look at ancient universities, especially the ones in Africa, there was always one leader in the center, but it was always a conversation. Conversations are much more powerful for you to understand and to learn than for me to just sit here and lecture you, okay? So I'm looking for your participation. So what are some mistakes that you think beginner investors make when they're trying to build a multiple 6-figure portfolio? Talk to me in the chat. What are some mistakes? This gives me a little break, a little tea break. I'm doing a fast today. I'm only water and tea today. Whew, pray for me. All right. Frederic says, sell when the market drops. Yes, queen. Huge mistake. Right? When the market drops, depending on what stock you have. Now, you don't want to be selling, you don't want to be in a stock that's not healthy, right? You don't want to be buying the dip on a stock that's on its way to bankruptcy, right? So you want to understand if the company is healthy. If the company is healthy, when the market drops, that's the time to buy more shares. I have told you guys this over and over. This is not a secret, right? What's stopping you from getting it done is the money behaviors, is the money patterns. This is why I focus on both, right? Okay, Zeus says buying quantity of stocks, not the quality. Right, exactly. Beautiful. I remember I was on the phone with someone and I was telling them that you want to have a lot of shares of solid companies, and they're like, yeah, I have thousands of shares in my portfolio. Okay, beautiful. Thousands of shares of what? Some flimsy little penny stock that I've never heard of before. Okay, you have 1,000 shares of a penny stock. Okay, is this stock going to retire you in 15 years? Do you know, is this company making money? Are they growing? What are their assets and their liabilities? What is their revenue versus their expenses? What is their cash flow like? What is all of that? I don't know. I've never heard of this company. How do you know that this company is going to be relevant in 15 years? If the share's only worth a few pennies, what makes you think that it's going to be suddenly $100, $200 stock in 15 years? Because you bought it? No, that's not how it works. You want to buy thousands of shares of solid companies. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so so some of the mistakes, these are some of the mistakes that I have seen, right? A lot of people are building a strategy on hope. They're buying stocks, they're watching videos on YouTube, they're watching different gurus on YouTube, they're hearing the gurus say buy this, they're hearing the person say buy that, they're getting emails and CNBC saying buy this, and they're just buying it. They're just buying whatever they hear, and they hope that it works out. I don't know, I hope it goes up. I don't know, it's not doing anything right now, but I hope that one day it goes up. Hope only worked for Obama, okay? Hope does not get you to your goal, all right? Hope will give you a sense of optimism, but it's the action that's going to get you to your goal. Okay. You won't know if your strategy is the right strategy that will get you to your goals if you don't know the details. Okay. One of the biggest mistakes is my clients have 401ks. They have no idea what's going on in that 401k. No idea, right? You can't get to your goals if you don't know where you are right now. We talked about this earlier, okay? We talked about this other one here. The investing style of your friends at work who are doing penny stocks, who are doing the Dogecoins and the AMCs and the meme stocks, that works for them because their plan is just a quick flip anyways. Very few people are investing in those meme stocks for the long term anyway. And so that's working for them to make that money and turn around and lose it. Most of the time, that's usually what happens. Turn around and lose it the very next day or the very next month or the very next 6 months. That will not work for you. You need to figure out where are you now, where are you headed in order to find the right plan for you. There is no one size fits all in finance, okay? You need an investing style that will allow you to reach your investment goals. Okay. All right. So I know yesterday I asked you guys, what are some things you think you need in order to build a multiple six-figure portfolio? You probably think that you have to take a lot of risk, that you have to study the market for years. You have to know everything, every little crevice, every little detail about the stock market, or you have to have a lot of money, or that, you can use any strategy that you found on the internet, right? That's what you're thinking. But what you really need, sorry, I wasn't trying to play these. What you really need is just to know exactly where you are now, where are you going, put together a plan to get you there, okay? Now, clearly, I'm not the only one, okay? I'm not the only one who's had results, right? Let me pause these here. All of these testimonials, that's the only one I could fit on this page. I've got a lot of testimonials here, and I'd like for you to hear what Regine had to say. Regine, actually, she's right here. Let me do it over here. Regine actually lives in Haiti, okay? She lives in Haiti and she uses a brokerage account that my international students are able to use, and she trades and has her long-term portfolio. And here's what she has to say. So even if you live in Haiti or you live in Canada or you live anywhere in the world, you can do this. You can embark on this journey. Don't let your location be a blockage for you, okay? Because anybody can do this all over the world. I'm here teaching you from Medellin, Colombia. Okay, I'm not even in the US right now, and I'm here teaching you. And of course, I didn't trade this morning. There were no opportunities this morning, but I still looked at the market this morning. So your location is not an excuse, okay? So here's what Regine had to say.
Good morning. I've been working with Katiana for 5 months now, and she uses a very well-designed program that has two parts. One part is she gives you the techniques to build a long-term portfolio and to make the short-term trades. And the second part is she works on your mindset. And for me, the mindset part is even more important because I had blockages with regards to money, and now I have a different relationship with money. I highly recommend Katiana's programs because she wants every single of her clients to succeed.
Thank you so much, Regine, for that. Oh, I love that last part. She wants every single one of her clients to succeed, right? That is so true. I told you guys, when I see you succeed, and these are only a handful of testimonials. I have so many others. When I hear these, it just like lights me up. I can't even explain it into words. It's just like, I feel like I'm doing exactly what I came here to do. I am fulfilling my purpose. I want to see you do good, right? But that's only if you want it. I can't want you to succeed more than you want to. Some of you guys are saying, I want to succeed, but you're not really ready. And that's okay. I'm not here to beat you up. You do enough of that. You beat yourself up enough. You don't need me to beat you up. All right. So I wasn't ready for a very long time. I've been on this journey for almost a decade. My shift with money didn't happen until about 2.5 years ago when I finally decided to work with a coach. And so I understand maybe you don't feel that you're ready, but when you are ready, I'm going to make sure that I give you my all so that you can get the life that you desire. I'm not going to give up on you. You will give up on yourself before I give up on you, but I can't want you to succeed more than you do, right? Just like nobody can ever love you more than you love yourself. And so that's why I promote self-love. That's why I promote that you forgive yourself. That's why I promote that you are patient and kind to yourself, right? One of the challenges in my program is to do something luxurious, go on a spa, right? Book a first class ticket, right? Do something luxurious, that luxurious thing that you've been wanting to do, that you've been yearning to do, but you keep telling yourself that you don't have enough money to do it. I challenge you to do it. Do it this week, do it in the next 2 weeks, and watch your life shift, okay? All right. So what are the benefits of having a strong investment plan? Well, we talked about this. You have more clarity. You make sure that you're on the right track. All right. You have a peace of mind. If you understand, if I'm investing in Apple, and this is not investment advice, okay? If I'm investing in Apple, and I'm just investing in Apple because Kat told me to invest in Apple. Well, when Apple when Apple goes down, or when Apple has not moved for 8 months, you're going to wonder what's going on. Was Kat right? Does she even know what she's talking about? Maybe I should just stop. You know, I can't afford to be losing all this money. Maybe I should just give up. I'm going to sell all my stocks and then just do something else, or just go back to savings because that's closer. But if you understand that, hey, you know what? Apple is working on virtual glasses to be able to take you to the metaverse. Oh, okay. This is not happening right now, but I see it happening in the next 10 years. And so if they're dominating the cell phone space right now, your whole life lives in this cell phone space, and an iPhone is dominating that space right now. Don't you think they have the right tools and the right data and the right team to also dominate the metaverse? Talk to me in the chat, guys. Okay. So yes, Apple might be slow right now. Yes, it might be going down right now, but you should be getting excited because you're getting it at a cheaper price. But if you don't understand these things, if you don't understand the vision of Apple for the next 10 to 20 years, if you don't understand their plan, if you don't understand their CEO, Tim Cook, and all the things he's done in the past and all the things he has plan for the future, you're going to start to panic. You're going to start questioning your investments. And that's why it's important to understand what you're investing in and why you want to invest in it. Okay. So we're going to go over the compound interest calculator briefly today, but we're going to go a lot deeper tomorrow. Okay. So this is where knowing how much money is going in your 401k, how much money you're investing every single month, what is the average rate of return, knowing that will allow you to see, okay, 15 years from now, am I on track to reaching my goal? Okay, 20 years from now, am I on track to reaching my goal? 10 years from now, am I on track to reaching my goal? If you're not on track, well, we got to fix something. We either got to add more, we got to be more aggressive, or we got to invest a little bit longer, right? And so these are the benefits of having an investment plan, okay? So any questions before I continue? Any questions, right? Those of you who want to, I'm over here. I asked someone to give me feedback about my presentation, and she told me you stutter a lot. And I was like, yeah, I stutter because my mind is going a mile a minute, right? And so I just caught myself stuttering. So let me just breathe there, okay? Listen, I'm human, okay? I'm on this journey with you, okay? All right, cool. Here's the link to apply to work with me so you can go a little bit deeper. And if you do your homework, we'll actually go over it tomorrow. So go ahead and apply to work with me. But yes, any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Questions. You're good, sis. Take your time, right? Exactly. Any questions? Let me see the chat here. Let me see. Kay says, listening to everyone's advice or suggesting executing that, not understanding where they're getting into. Yes, Queen. You said exactly what I said. Zeus says buying quantity. Okay, we already said that. Okay, beautiful. Okay. So I'm going to ask you, when it comes to investing, what are some things that hold you back? What are some things that hold you back? Juliana says, do you share with us any recommendations on when to buy and sell? Yes, actually, that's actually a good question. So let me pause what I was about to ask, okay? Juliana says, do you share with us any recommendations on when to buy and when to sell? Yes, I know that's one of the pain points for you guys, okay? Yes, I actually teach you how to do it by yourself, okay? Because guess what, guys? I'm not going to be doing this forever. I love doing this, but I have plans. I'm here to shift the world. I'm here to shift the entire Haitian community, right? I'm here to build economies, right? Sustainable economies, right? And so I can't do this for the rest of my life. I got other things to do. So what are you going to do when I'm not doing this anymore? You're going to find another guru. What happens when they stop doing it? You're going to find another one. What happens when they stop doing it, right? So it's much more powerful for me to teach you how to do it for yourself, not only so you have the independence, but also you can teach your children. You can teach your family. You can even teach your community. I want to inspire some of you to become financial coaches because I can't do this myself, right? There are 7 billion people in the world, and all 7 billion of us, even the wealthy ones, need some sort of money coaching or some sort of money strategy. The wealthy need it even more because they have more money to strategize with, right? So don't think that because, oh, when you get to a certain level and you make the certain money, that's it, I don't need help anymore. As a matter of fact, you need even more help because you have more to distribute, more to give back, more to multiply, right? And so I can't do that by myself. I need you guys to do it with me, right? That's why I don't bash any other gurus out there who are doing what I'm doing. I don't need to bash them because they have their audience, I have mine. And so I want to inspire you to also teach your community. So I know that was a long-winded answer, Juliana, but yes, I teach you how to read the charts so that you see in the past, where are some areas where the big banks decide to buy, okay? So whatever the area the big banks decide to buy, that's the area that you want to buy. Because think about it, if the big banks decide to wait until a stock goes to $100 to buy $1 billion worth of it, what's gonna happen to the price of the stock? Talk to me in the chat, okay? I'm going to say it again. If the big banks decide that they're going to buy 1 billion shares of a specific stock when it goes down to $100, what's going to happen to the price of the stock, right? Zeus says it will rise. You agree with him? Kay says price will go up. Exactly. Supply and demand. So in the past, if the big banks have bought at 100 every single time, guess when you're going to buy? At 100. Make sense? And so I'm going to teach you how to do all that reading the charts. Absolutely. Any other questions? Very good questions. Thank you, Juliana. So don't forget to click on the link to apply to work with me. Trust me, people ask me, Kat, why do you give so much information for free? Trust me, I got so much more to give you. This is only the tip of the iceberg, okay? If you're ready and you're willing, trust me, I got more for you. So I'm not afraid of giving all this information for free because it's already out there, right? It's already out there. It's just all up, all over the place, all over Google, all over YouTube, all over that. And you sometimes it's overwhelming. One of my students told me this in her testimony. She was like, you hear this and you hear that and you hear this, and then you're just like confused. You don't know what to do. Right. And so I'm putting it all in a package for you in a 3-day with a bonus day, with a 4th bonus day in order to give you a sense of direction. If you decide to do this on your own, great. That's more power to you. But if you need help, don't be afraid. Don't let your fears get in the way of applying to work with me. OK. All right, beautiful. So let's talk, those of you who have your workbook, go ahead and pull out your workbook and let's talk about the concept of compound interest. What is compound interest? Who can tell me in the chat, what is compound interest? What is the definition, or how would you describe compound interest? I know we started talking about it a little bit yesterday, right? So compound interest is simply interest on interest, right? And so let's do an example. Let me pull out the whiteboard here. Okay. So let's say you started with $10,000, okay? And you made 20% return for the year. How much money did you make? Talk to me in the chat. If you made 20% profit, okay, your first year, okay, how much money did you make? Okay, Zeus says 2,000. Beautiful. Now, the second year, you made another 20% profit. How much money did you make? Talk to me in the chat. The second year, you made a 20% again. Okay. Amanda says 2,000. You guys agree with her? The second year, you made 20%. Did you make 2,000? You guys agree with her? Kay says no. Zeus says no. How much did you make? Amanda says 2,400. Absolutely. Because you didn't make 20% of 10,000. You made 20% of 12,000. Everybody type in a 9 if you get that. Okay. So you made 2,400 the second year, but you didn't change your strategy. You had the same exact strategy, the same exact return, 20%, 20%. Now, let's say to the next year, the market does so great that you made 40% return. Okay. So the next year you made 40% return. How much money did you make? Okay. The next year you made 40% return. How much money did you make? So 12,000 plus plus 2,400, okay, times 40%, okay? All right, beautiful. Did I do this right? 12, plus 2,000 to 2,400, okay? Times 40%. Okay, yes, that's right, Amanda, right? So you made 14,400 plus, okay, 5,760. What is your portfolio now? What is the balance on your portfolio now? Now you're at 20K. Do you guys see how, if I go on for 15 years, do you guys see how this easily can reach 1 million? Talk to me in the chat. Type in a 1 if you see that. This is only year 3 and I'm at 20,000. If I continue to do this year after year after year after year, and after 15 years, it's going to be pretty close to 1 million, if not 1 million or more than that, right? That is the power of compound interest. So I would like to have a volunteer who would like, oh, there's a question in the Q&A. Lakeisha says, can I go a lot? Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Okay. I need a volunteer. Go ahead and raise your hand so I can unmute you. We're going to do a live exercise together. And if you want to do yours specifically, if you want to call your job and have me do it for you, you want to apply to work with me. And tomorrow we will go over that tomorrow. But today I'm going to take one volunteer. Who wants to raise your hand? Raise your hand if you want to go. And we're going to do a live why did it just happen? We're going to do a live example. Anybody want to raise your hand? Zeus, Amanda, Darlene, and me. Do you guys know how to raise your hand? Is that what it is? You don't know how to raise your hand? Raise your hand so I can unmute you. Okay, since nobody's raising their hand, I'll just do an example. So let's say you decide that you're going to start with $2,000, okay? Let's say you start your portfolio with $2,000, okay? What is a monthly contribution? Talk to me in the chat. What is a monthly contribution that you're going to be excited about putting into your portfolio? Talk to me in the chat. What is a monthly contribution that you would be excited about putting into your portfolio? Meaning that you're going to keep buying those same shares of those stocks that you decided to invest in, okay? What is an amount? Lakeisha says 200. Edith says 500. Okay, so let's go with the higher number, right? You want to be excited about. Please don't go telling yourself that you're going to put 500, but then it's a burden for you. And then it's keeping you up at night or it's stressful for you. Because what's going to happen is if you put a number that sounds nice, but it's stressful for you, you're going to talk yourself out of it. You're going to tell yourself, you know what? I have to pay this bill. I'll just do it next month. You know what? I'm not ready for this. I'll do it next month. And then next month becomes never. And next thing you know, you never get started on your portfolio. I'd rather you say something as small as $100, $200, okay? Whatever is comfortable, what you're excited, where you're like, I can't wait to get this money to buy more shares of blah, blah, blah. That's how you want to feel about your investment. If you don't feel that way about your investment, you're doing it wrong. Okay. All right. So we'll put $500. That didn't type anything. Okay, beautiful. All right. What are some years, or what is the average years? Let's see. Talk to me in the chat. How long? What is the longest that you're willing to go before you retire? I know everybody would love to retire tomorrow. I know that. When would you like to retire? Oh, tomorrow. When would you like to retire? In 2 years. Yes, beautiful. But remember, compound interest gets more powerful the longer you leave it. So I would like to ask you, what is the longest that you're willing to go in order to continue to invest and before you retire? Okay, so let's do 20 years. So I'm seeing an average of 20. Somebody said 20 to 25. Let's do 20 years. Okay. So now estimated interest rate. Now, if you're buying solid companies that the big banks are buying, right? You can average. And when I say average, I don't mean 20% every year. Okay. I don't mean that. I mean, like maybe 1 year it'll be 30. 1 year it might be -5. 1 year it might be 0%. 1 year it might be 100%. 1 year it might be 70%. But on average, you're looking at about an average of 20%. Okay, so let's do 20%. Now, can it be more aggressive than that? Absolutely. If you're buying fast growing stocks like Amazon, Google, and Tesla, get ready to see much higher percentages, but also you'll see a big swing up, but you'll also see a big swing down as well. So if your heart can't take that type of roller coaster, Tesla, Amazon, and Google are not for you. This is why I say you want to understand your money behaviors before you put together a plan. You have to be realistic with what you're able to do, what you're capable of doing. Okay. All right, so let's say, so what do you guys think is the answer? If I start my portfolio with $2,000, right? And I invest for the next 20 years and I have an automatic payment that's going into my portfolio, 500. Well, clearly within this 20 years, your income is growing, because if you're working with coaches like me, your income is exponentially growing. So that 500 could easily be 5,000 one day, but we're just going to pretend that it just stays 500. What do you guys think the answer is? Talk to me in the chat. What do you guys, let's take some guesses. What do you guys think is the answer? What do you guys think is the answer? What is the answer to this problem here? I start with 2,000. I put in $500 like clockwork consistently every month for the next 20 years. What do you guys think? I don't see any guesses. Anybody want to guess? Zeus says 5 million. Okay, you guys agree? 5 million. Kay says 1 million plus. Okay, yes. 5. Remember, Zeus, think about what you're saying, right? You're starting with 2,000 and you're putting $500, right? To get to 5 million, I don't know. It's a little stretch there. If you put in maybe $2,000, maybe you'll see 5 million, right? How far is that really? Okay, 2.5 million. So let's see. Okay, so the answer is, so Kay got it right. Okay, so a little bit over $1 million plus. You guys see how easy it is to reach $1 million without even knowing anything about the market, really, because you could put this in an index fund and get these same types of results. I'm just saying, okay? But you have to know where you are, where you're starting. Talk to me in the chat. Type in a 1. If you knew this 20 years ago, this would have changed your life. If you knew of this 15 years ago, this would have changed your life. Okay, 15, not even 20. Forget 10 years ago, you would have been halfway to $1 million, right? And so it's okay that you didn't know this 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, but you know it now. And so what are we going to do about it? I said we, because I'm in this with you. I'm building this with you. Okay, I have gotten a certain amount of results that I can teach you how to get here as well. And I'm continuously working on myself so I can get even higher, so that as you get to this result, I can teach you, okay, you ready for the next step? Because I just did it. You ready for me to show you how? That's how this works. So what are we going to do about this now that we have this information in our hands? Knowledge is power, but the true power is applied knowledge. I'm going to repeat that. Knowledge is power, yes, but it is the applied knowledge that's going to change your life. Just knowing something and not doing anything is a waste of the knowledge, really. Because there are billions of people in this world who would love to just have the knowledge because they're ready to implement. So you having the knowledge and not implementing is a disservice to all these people in the world who don't have access to this free education that you have access to today. Think about that. Okay. All right. Beautiful. Any questions before I wrap things up? Okay, so we're going to go a lot deeper tomorrow. We're going to do some live examples. I invite you guys to please call your human resources department, find out your information. If you don't have a 401k or anything at all, just tell me what you plan on starting with. What is a number that you're comfortable, that you're excited about? Emphasis on excited. When I first started doing this, I would hint at the number that I would want my clients to put in, but then I realized sometimes it was a stretch for them and they would just give up and not do it. So I realized that you need to be excited about this number, right? If you're not excited about it, you're not going to apply the knowledge, right? I've seen enough of it to know, okay? I understand human behavior. I study human behavior all day long. That's what I do. I study behavioral finance, okay? So it is what it is. So you got to be excited. Any questions, comments, concerns, any observations, any moments of clarity that you want to share to everybody? Any questions? Okay, so we have about 7 minutes before you guys have to go back to work. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the program, okay? So let me put the link here, okay, for to apply to work with me, okay. Those of you, if you like, type in a 7 if you got some value in these last 3 days. Type in a 7 if you got a lot of value. Type in a 7 if you got a moment of clarity. Type in a 7 if you now have some sort of clarity of how to get started. Type in a 7 if you would love to continue learning more, right? So I invite you to come to apply to work with me in the program, okay? So you have 2 options. You can figure this out on your own. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not here to judge you and I'm not here to shame you about doing option number 1. There's nothing wrong with that. Just know it's going to be a long, hard road. I tried to do it on my own for about, I'd say about 5-6 years of my journey. And it was a long 5-6 years, sleeping on couches, catching buses, eating ramen noodles, right? All of that. It was a very long, hard road, right? It wasn't until I decided to get help that I really shifted my life. So I'm not here to shame you if you want to do this on your own. Just know what's ahead. Just know that it's going to be a long road ahead, okay? There's no shortcuts to wealth. I'm sorry, there's no such thing as a get rich quick. No matter what somebody's presenting you, if they're telling you can make $2,000 in a day without knowing anything, just know that you'll make the $2,000 in a day. Yeah, you will, but you'll turn around and lose it the very next day. I know this because I was there. I've done it. I've done the binary options. I've done the weekly options. I've done all the MLMs that you can think of. I've done the crypto, like where they trade for you. I've done it all. Trust me. When I say, when I talk to you guys, I say we, because I'm in this journey with you. I just have figured out a blueprint that has worked for numerous students. And so I'm like, okay, you know what? This blueprint is working for 40 plus students. Let me present it to the world to help hundreds more, right? That's what I'm here for. Or you can learn from someone. Now, this doesn't have to be me. This person does not have to be me. Okay, but you want to work with a money coach that's right for you. Have an initial consultation with them. Do your energies match? Do they understand you? Are the things that they're saying to you, is it resonating? Are they able to understand your pain? Do they have a solution that gives you clarity, right? That's what you want to look for in a coach. Now, you might find that with me, or you might find that with someone else, but I would much rather you work with someone else and make multiple 6-7 figures and turn around and impact your community than to force to work with me and you don't even like working with me, right? And so the point is to elevate the community. The point is not to get 7 billion people to work with me. I can't handle all of that, actually, right? So that's why when I say I don't work with everybody, because we have to mesh together, okay? So with that, you can either do option 1 or option 2. One of them is a long, hard road. You'll still get what you want. Eventually, you're going to end up getting some help. You're going to get what you want, or you can work with someone, okay? So I'll use the last couple of minutes to talk about the mindful investing program. So the main program, now I have different programs, but the main program is a 12-month program. It is designed to shift your money mindset to become an intelligent, confident, profitable investor, right? I want to add the word confident in there. We are here to build your confidence so that you are confident in your plan. So you don't hold back or you don't get scared, right? Okay. So phase 1, you're working with me for the first month, one-on-one. We're digging deep. We're doing some heavy lifting into your childhood. This is where my clients are crying. They're releasing, they're getting emotional. They're releasing all of that baggage. They're making mental shifts. They're starting to realize some things, right? This is the meat of it all. And then, all right, we build your core portfolio. All right. I'm not one of those gurus that's going to teach you how to get rich quick tomorrow. Right. We're building wealth, generational wealth that's going to be passed down. So we do both long-term and short-term. I don't just do short-term and I don't just do long-term. We do them together so that they can feed each other. Long-term is the portfolio that you pass down to your children. Short-term is the one that you use to create cash flow, to pay your bills, right? To invest in yourself, to take vacations, right? To reinvest back into long-term things, to invest into other projects, invest in your businesses, invest in real estate, and so on and so forth. Then we build cash flow with your short-term investing strategies, right? We teach you short-term investing strategies. We're still building your mindset so that you have a strong mindset to be able to handle the market, okay? Then the next thing we do, we discuss other sources of income, right? Remember what I told you, building a multiple 6-7-figure portfolio is a bonus, because the same strategy that's going to allow you to build a multiple 6-7 portfolio is the same knowledge, the same mindset that's going to allow you to build a multiple 6-7-figure business. So we're going to talk about other ways for you to make money. Okay. Then if you are interested in this, right, one of my mentors, Jeremy Newsom Alexander, he now has a funding available for you to have either $50,000, $100,000, or $200,000 to be able to implement some of these strategies that I gave you. So maybe you don't have a lot of money to start with, but you can always qualify for that funding. And I get you ready. I know that you will be ready to qualify for the funding. That's if you want to go to that step. Okay. And then we transition you, all right, to replace your income, right? Because we're here to build wealth. We're here to build freedom. A lot of you are working and you don't even like what you work. So we figure out how much money is your work paying you and how much you need to make in order to replace that. Any questions about anything, right? It's 11:59. I know some of you probably have to go back to work. All right. So if you have to go, just, it's okay. I'll see you later. Okay. And if you have a minute or two and you have questions, go ahead and ask your questions. Any questions? Any questions, comments, concerns, behaviors? I'm sorry, not behaviors. Observations. Any questions? Okay. All right, guys. So that's all the time that I have today. I'm going to give you one more minute to see if there's any questions. Maybe you guys are typing. Okay. Any questions? Those of you who want to attend day 4, tomorrow we have a bonus day. All right. We will be discussing more on different styles of investing. We're going to be discussing, we're going to do live examples with the compound interest. Is this going to get you to your goals? All of that. So if you want to attend the bonus day tomorrow, right, this is only open to those who have applied to work with me, and I will see you tomorrow. All right, guys, have a good night. I don't see any questions. I talked enough. Talk to you later, guys. I see. Looking forward to schedule a call. Yes, absolutely. All right, guys, have a good night. Thank you. Bye-bye.